Hey everybody, what's going on? I am on a little mission today. We're taking a trip to Vietnam tomorrow. And I always like to show up with a little bit of cash, just in case you have an issue with your ATM card. Put those travel notices. I'm using Navy Federal. I don't think I need to put in a travel notice with any of my Chase credit cards. Navy Federal ATM, you absolutely do. I forgot to do that one time. I think I showed up in Indonesia, tried to get some local cash. It was a problem. You're going to have to make the choice on using your ATM card. There's going to be fees from your bank, in my case the US. I think Navy Federal, I think it's 1%, so that's not too bad. But then the bank in Japan or Indonesia, Vietnam, they're going to charge whatever they charge. It's usually $3, $4, $5 US. So oftentimes I'll do that just for convenience. Lose the $5, take the most money out you can. You don't want to take out $40 US or even 100 and get charged the same amount for taking out the max, maybe 300. But you have to be a little careful. I'll use my credit cards everywhere I can. And other people will say, I'm afraid of getting hacked in Thailand and all. I've never been hacked here. I've been hacked in the US several times, so I'll leave that up to you. Going on, I don't know, 3 years and no problems using my US credit cards here in Thailand. Some merchants will charge you the 3% fee that Visa or MasterCard is charging them, but other than that, I haven't had any real problems, and to me it's just safer than running around with a pile of cash. I have cash, I keep cash at home, not a lot, but if there's some kind of disaster and power's out for days, at least I've got some ready cash for myself, for Boone, for those type of emergencies. Again, today I'm going to walk down my street here, Sukhumvit Soi 26. There are different rates from booth to booth, and even the bank, you're going to get a worse rate. When I first came over, I had whatever it was, so I took a large sum of money into Bangkok Bank. I had just opened the account and I wanted to put that large sum in. She told me, now this is the large bank, go out to the exchange booth and he's going to give you a better rate than we'll give you here in the bank. I know at times it's unavoidable if you're transferring money from a wire transfer, in my case from the US into Bangkok Bank. You're at the mercy as to what they're going to give you. If you can bring that cash over, like right now I'm sitting on whatever it is, 8,000, 9,000 US that I brought back from California. The exchange rate isn't, or the exchange rate isn't so great, 32 point something. Who knows, maybe it's gonna go down. The lowest I think I saw was just under 30. It was 29.9 for a minute. That was a couple of years ago. And then it went as high as 39 to 1. And luckily, I'm not trying to say I timed the market. You can't do that, but I exchanged 15,000 US, so I'm still kind of spending some of that cash. I also got 36 and a half, close to 37 one time. So I'm just not super excited about 32 point whatever we're gonna get today. I am taking Thai Baht. I do have those US dollars. I'm gonna do the math, see. I think if I were to present a $100 bill here in Thailand, I think they're going to charge me for the conversion to Baht and then from Baht to Vietnamese Dong, I would think. I don't think they're in the business of directly exchanging that $100 bill to Dong. So when there's a buy and a sell rate, and the buy rate, them buying that $100 bill, is going to be a worse rate than them selling Thai Baht back to the $100 bill. If I'm correct on that. I'm no expert on exchanging money, but you'll see a buy and sell rate and it's different. Pretty sure, and I even Googled it, the buy rate is slightly worse than the sell back rate from Baht to pounds, Australian, Canadian, whatever. So just keep that in mind. Curious as to what I would get for Thai Baht in Vietnam as compared to Thai Baht here, getting Viet Dong here. I'm sure it's going to be a little bit of a worse rate. All of this is kind of nickel dime. I'll probably lose $2 $2-3 doing it here in Bangkok as opposed to Vietnam, but who knows? You also have to be careful, even arriving here in Suvarnabhumi, some of the exchange booths that are right as you clear customs, they're going to give a slightly worse rate than if you go down to the basement. And Super Rich, what's the other yellow one down there? They give a little better rate. So we're going to do that. Let's go walk to just kind of a normal exchange booth, one that popped up in the last 6 months here on Soi 26. Let me see what the rate is for Thai Baht to Vietnamese Dong, and then we'll walk up to Super Rich at the Prom Pong BTS. I know a lot of people are all about Super Rich at Terminal 21. Not sure, these turtle stores, they're kind of like a 7-Eleven, have popped up at the BTSs everywhere. And now I see Super Rich Turtle. So they've gone into business together? Don't know. I haven't exchanged money in years, 2 years. Like I say, I brought this money to exchange. Crisp, clean, $100 bills, no tears, no nothing. I oftentimes say take your passport when you're exchanging money, or if nothing else, a nice clean color copy of your passport. I've said that in a couple of videos, and folks have said I've had luck using my driver's license. So I'm going to ask the question at both the local exchange booth and Super Rich. Hey, you know, I brought my Florida driver's license. Is that good enough? And we'll see what answer we get. So let's check it out. Again, for convenience, I'm just going to get about $200 worth, or whatever that is in Thai Baht, 6,400. And if I lose a little money, oh well. What you don't want to do is get 500 US dollars and then come back, and then you're losing all kinds of money doing these exchanges. I know I'm gonna at least spend 200 bucks on this trip, but I might put everything on a credit card. I did that in the past. I think I don't know, I got $400 or $500 of yen, and pretty much 95% of what we did in Tokyo and Osaka was on credit cards, and I ended up bringing back a bunch of yen and kind of did the conversion, and I lost money if it was 20 or 25 US dollars. The other thing is these exchange rates fluctuate all the time. So whatever the rate is today, probably every hour they fluctuate. It's going to be a different rate tomorrow. Can't control that. I wouldn't lose too much sleep over it. If you're planning on making that move over to Thailand and putting that 800,000 in the bank account, well, do what you need to do. I know it's getting a little more difficult. You might have to get an agent involved to open up a bank account. Again, that's a whole other discussion. I think it's easier right now. What is it? June 18th, 2025. From what I'm understanding, if you're over 50, I think an agent can help you open that bank account with little to no trouble. You can attempt to do it on your own. I did have one buddy who got it done. Now, he got his non-O in the UK. I got my non-O here, which is the 90-day visa, and then you extend it for 1 year. I would probably recommend, if you're going to attempt to do all this on your own, get your non-O. You can also get a non-OA abroad. There's a difference. The non-O, you need the 800,000 in the bank. The non-OA, I don't know. I've never had one. I think you can show the money in your UK bank or your US bank. I know you have to provide health insurance or proof thereof. I have health insurance. Again, that's another rabbit hole. I had a buddy who has, well, a guy on YouTube I saw, he has the exact same Blue Cross insurance I have. It covers anything. And because it didn't specifically say it covered the pandemic, they didn't accept it when he went to extend his non-OA here in Thailand. He got the non-OA in Chicago, went to extend it here, and no go. I think he ended up switching over to the non-O for retirement, and then he switched to the wealthy pensioner. I don't know. There's all kinds of visas. Just let's try to keep it simple. Let's go see what it's going to cost me to get this Vietnamese dong, and then I'll compare it tomorrow when I show up in Vietnam if I made a mistake getting the cash here. Again, I really don't care if I'm losing $5, $6, $7. I should probably just pull it straight out of the ATM machine in Vietnam and lose the $7, but this is just kind of a social experiment, and I'll take you along for the way. And I'm going to break one of my own rules. I'm going to use the Bangkok Bank ATM here at the 7-Eleven. It's not a hard and fast rule, and I have used this ATM machine before, but if you're wandering off, say, to the Emporium Mall right now, well, use the ATM machine right in front of the bank while it's open. And that rare chance it doesn't give your card back, you have a fighting chance compared to the standalone machine here. Also remember, over here in Thailand, you're going to stick that card in, even if it's a US card, a Wise card, Charles Schwab, whatever it is. You're going to do your transaction. It's going to spit out the money. Ask if you want a receipt. They normally don't give you a receipt, or they're out of paper often. And then you retrieve your card. So be very careful. I'm pretty sure in the United States, it asks you those questions, gives you your card, and then gives you the money. So be careful. That's a pretty common occurrence. It happened to me years ago. I was tired. I got off a flight, San Francisco to Hong Kong. Stuck that card in the machine, took out some Hong Kong dollars, and like an idiot, I did it in between customs and immigration, or the opposite, I don't know. But I realized what I did and try getting back into the airport without a ticket and retrieving a ATM card. I got it done, but it took about 2.5, 3 hours, and luckily I remembered the color of the ATM. It was the yellow bank in Hong Kong. And there, again, luckily, there was a branch with people. It was open in the daytime down in the airport. Explained the situation, and they went up and got it out of the machine for me. But just don't do what I did and what other people make that mistake and get that card after the money's handed to you. It's coming later. And another thing is have a backup card. I mean, I bank with 3 different banks. And when I travel, I take all 3 different ATM cards. I just have backups for everything. And as you're watching these different YouTube videos, including my own, you're going to hear about Wise. I believe they're based out of the UK. They give one of the more favorable exchange rates. I have said in other videos, I was using Navy Federal to transfer money, international wire transfer, because they had a flat rate fee of $25. And I've been with Navy Federal since 1984. They've treated me well, so I figured they're going to give me a fair exchange rate, etc. Well, it's a little bit worse than Wise by, I don't know exacts. Let's just say if Wise is giving 32.5 to $1 US, well, then Navy Federal might give 32.3. Not a huge deal, but when you're transferring over $10,000, $20,000 or even more, you're buying a condo, whichever, that adds up to some real money. The other thing I want to bring up is putting that $800,000 in the bank. Let me watch motorbikes here. Some people will say that's a waste. I want to invest the $800,000 in, I don't know, the racetrack. They don't want to tie that money up. They'll do the $65,000 a month system, or I think you can do, I'm no expert on this, I think it's $400,000 in the bank and show half of the $65,000 in income, something like that. But you need to make that deposit each month, so you're at the mercy of whatever the exchange rate is. Again, I'm not trying to say I'm gonna time the market. You know, this is the Story Service Departments. Let me just real quick show you this because it just opened. It's just a little, well, I don't want to film this person, but it's just a little 2 washers and 2 dryers. And if you're anywhere in this area, I'm not sure, over at the is it Fort King's Hotel? I always get it wrong. At the end of Soy 26. If they have a washer and dryer. If not, just walk right over here. There's even a change machine. I do use their change machine. I have dryers in my condo, but I'll put a couple $100 baht in there and get a bunch of 10 baht coins. It's nice to wash the clothes out on the patio and then fluff them up, especially the t-shirts, in the dryer once in a while. But getting back to the transferring of the money, I found it works better for me to just transfer that large amount if it's through Wise or an international transfer. And I since switched over to Wise. Now they charge more, and they just raised the rates, I think 35% or something, but it still seems to be a little better deal than Navy Federal. Here's the chapter night market. The folks that are moving that money over each month, hey, if the Baht is 29 to 1 or 39 to 1, they don't care. They just want to see that transfer each month. And you have to be very careful if you're doing things like, I don't know, scheduling the transfer on the 28th of every month, because it's always landed in my bank in exactly one day. Well, that one time it doesn't hit until the next month, and you now have two 65,000 deposits in the month of February, and you have zero in January. Well, you're done. They're not interested in your banking problems. So be careful on that. Schedule it in the middle of the month. And I do know with Navy Federal, I would do that wire transfer. It was a $25 flat rate fee. I'd get a slightly worse rate, and 5 or 6 days later, it would arrive. Oftentimes with small amounts, Wise is instant. I did 15,000 with Wise, and that took 7 days. You can do your research on Wise. There's other ways you can leave money in the Wise account. I don't want to get shellacked here. You can leave money in your account, and I don't know. I'm not. It's a good company, but I'm not super comfortable leaving $20,000 or $30,000 in that account. And the other thing I could do, I maybe need to school myself. You can leave money in your Wise account and transfer it to, say, Vietnamese dong, not just Thai baht. But I'm keeping things simple, not trying to think too hard. And again, these aren't huge mistakes you're gonna make if you're losing $6. But if you're gonna be moving over here and the plan is to hit that ATM machine every day, yeah, you're gonna get a slightly worse exchange rate. You're gonna be getting charged fees from the foreign bank. I know Charles Schwab is a very popular card because they refund the fees, but who knows how long that's gonna last. I've read accounts that they're shutting people down in Mexico and Panama that they're just not great customers. They don't have any money in their Charles Schwab account, and they're peeling off that Social Security check, whatever it takes, 3 times a month, and then that's it. And then they're back to having $100 in that account. So I don't know. At some point, I would imagine they're going to say you need a minimum balance in there. But for right now, it's working great. Now, even outfits like Navy Federal, they give me back $10. Not a ton, but I may hit the ATM machine for if I need more cash than this $200 worth of dong. If I hit it in Vietnam and they charge me whatever it is, $4, I'll get that back from Navy Federal. And here's that exchange booth. It's a pro exchange. I've seen them around town. Again, everybody talks super rich. It does say the staff will be right back. But let's see. It's January 18th, 3:36. When they wait for the US to pop up, it's probably 32 point something. There's Viet Dong. All right, the buying rate, 31.96. The selling, 32.61 on $100 bills. You're going to, and I don't know, there's not too many $50 bills running around anymore, but you're going to get the best rate on the 100. A lot of places won't even take a $1 US bill, so don't bother. If they accept the 20, it's going to be a slightly worse rate. I think I called out the wrong rate there. There's a buy and a sell rate. Maybe I explained that before. The buy rate, you're going to get a slightly worse rate. That is where you're turning your US money into Thai baht or Australian money, Canadian money, that type of thing. Selling it back, you're selling Thai baht back to US dollars, so it's a slightly better rate. I'm seeing when it pops up here, well today, okay, 31.96 is the buy rate if I were to hand her, so right under 32, $100 bill. At Wise, today, about a half hour ago, it's 32.6. So you can see, not bad. And then we'll go up and compare this, whatever it was, I wrote it down, 31.96 to what Super Rich is offering just up the road at Phrom Phong BTS. I'm waiting for her to come back to ask her if she'll take my Florida driver's license. And the other calculation I was running at home was using Thai baht to, there it is, using Thai baht to switch to Vietnamese dong. It's 500,000, what did it just say, notes? But it's a little confusing because it said the rate is wait till it pops back up here, 0.004 I think. And when I ran it at Wise, it was a little better to do US dollars, but on 200 bucks, I think you saved $2.80, so it's not life-shattering money. Oh, that popped up again. Wait for that Vietnamese dong. And maybe this is giving you an idea of your home country's rates. I'm sorry if we can see through the glass here. Come on, dong. 0.00100 buying and 0.140 selling. Now, most of these places will say no commission. If you find a place that does charge a commission, that's gonna certainly cut into your exchange rate. And I'm also seeing this sign, advanced booking available for all currencies for big amount, 24 hours notice required. And I waited around for about 8 minutes. Nobody showed up, so I'm gonna walk up to the Super Rich, see what their rate is compared to this other office, and hopefully ask them if they'll accept my Florida driver's license instead of a passport. And I'll probably go ahead and peel off, call it 6,500 baht worth, or about 200 US dollars. Just for the convenience of showing up with some cash. Again here, watch the bikes. And then on my walk back home, hopefully somebody will be in the booth. I can ask them about the driver's license, but I would just plan on bringing your passport. A couple of folks, like I say, commented that the driver's license was okay, but I've even had folks sitting in the pub say they weren't asked for an ID at all, but I certainly have been. So there are one-offs, and maybe using that driver's license is not going to happen everywhere. Don't know. I don't like carrying my passport around. In fact, I'm gonna run a little experiment, and I'm gonna ask them, will you take this driver's license? If they say no, I'm going to say, will you take this color copy of my passport? Maybe they'll say yes. I think they're just interested in using it for ID. All right, this is a little tricky situation. Some guys like to kind of take off on that red light, which is fine, unless you have 50 motorbikes heading towards you. I'm not even positive where the, I know I've seen it, but I'm not sure which side it's on, and I think I'm gonna have to pay to get into the train. Watch the motorbikes on the sidewalk. Well, if that guy has to just go 100 feet back to the motorcycle stand, that's what he's gonna do. He's not gonna go back all the way around and make a U-turn here. He's coming up that sidewalk, so walk to one side of it. I think I might have to pay to go into the train. Not that it's a big deal. Maybe 18 baht, buzz in, buzz out. I don't know. Or maybe they charge you the full fare. 'Cause theoretically, I guess you could ride to the end of the line, get on the train, and come all the way back. So it doesn't know. Maybe they know by the time. I don't know. I don't care. I just need to find that super rich. And it is still hot, little after 5 p.m. Part of the heat of just all these cars and buses. You get off onto my soy and it seems like it's 10 degrees cooler. I'm sure it's not. I should have ran this experiment at 7 p.m. I do have to throw a few things together. Have to be at the airport. I think it's a 9 o'clock flight. I'm not sure. I'll probably I don't know. I'll take the airport rail link. That's just easy. That's a beautiful car. But oftentimes I ride a motorbike up to Makasan Station and then jump on the train. Otherwise, I have to get on the green here, go up to the Asok BTS station, then transfer to the MRT Sukhumvit, go down one stop to Phetchaburi, then walk across the street to the Makasan train station. Kind of easier just to be on the back of a motorbike. We'll see. I think I have to take the small suitcase rather than my normal backpack because I paid for extra carry-on. With these budget airlines, we're traveling Vietjet, AirAsia. A lot of them will give you an option. AirAsia, it's a nice option to double your carry-on from 7 kilogram to 15. Vietjet only allows from 7 kilogram to 10. But don't think you're going to fool anybody with whatever it is, a 14 kilogram huge backpack. They're going to call you out, pull you over, put it on the scale, and charge you all kinds of extra money compared to just paying that extra when you buy the ticket. So maybe that's one plus with the Super Rich at Terminal 21. It's on the outside of the train station. I'm 99% sure we're going in. I've been in this courtyard a million times and I never saw it. And the other side is my normal go-to spot for the train, and I don't see it on that side. So it must be on this Emporium side, on the inside of the train. And hopefully it's still in there. Things change fast here in Bangkok. And I sure hope it's there, because I'm paying to get into the train for no reason. And if they close it down, you can see the turtle store there. Again, it's like a 7-Eleven. It's actually pretty nice, and I think they have a program to give you credit for your rabbit card, or maybe you can even use your rabbit card in there. I'm not sure. I never did that. And here's the Super Rich turtle currency exchange, and this is the turtle right on the left. It is on the inside. I walked up and asked, I was holding my Florida driver's license, may I use this? And she says, no, I need the passport. I forgot to ask about the picture. Now this guy, he's not holding a passport either, and they've been standing there for a while, and I saw the young lady pull out her Thai ID card. So maybe that is the solution. But if you don't have a Thai ID card and you're just on your own, I was shot down with the Florida driver's license. When they're done with their business, I'm going to show them my color copy. I'm not trying to play games here. I have my passport in the backpack. I'm just trying to at least show you my experience with what ID you need to exchange money. Well, that answers that. She said, get that picture and get out of here. I need a passport. Again, this is just my experience. And if you've found a place that takes a driver's license, you might find a place that doesn't require ID at all. You just have to be mindful of the exchange rate. Again, it's not that huge a difference, but over at the one on Soi 26, it was buy. I'm looking at my slip here, 31.96, sell 32.61. And here at Super Rich, Prampong, buy 32.38 and sell 32.60. So they're actually a tiny bit, very tiny bit worse on the sell rate, but they beat the buy rate. Just to bring your passport to be on the safe side, unless you want to make another trip back to the hotel. But I get it. It rains here, and I don't like carrying my passport around. I keep it in a Ziploc bag. It's no sign of rain right now, and it's in my backpack in a Ziploc bag. So I stopped under the Prampong BTS here at Imchan Food. It's about 5:30. I'm going to have a little dinner. And we'll just review real quick what happened. They would not take my Florida driver's license. They would not accept that color copy of my passport page, and I still keep that in my wallet. It's up to you. I mean, how many times have I lost my wallet? Maybe once in the last 30 years. So I'll risk it. I keep some emergency contact information on the back of that. If I'm found unconscious, call this person in Thailand, call this person in the US if I'm found dead somewhere. But I'll leave that up to you if you want to do that. I've used that color picture many times at the phone store, different places where you wouldn't think you need your passport. You do when you're signing up for internet, phone, all these kinds of things. It's worked fine there. Money exchange, today anyhow, not so much. So I then pulled out the passport and pulled out all I had in my wallet, which was 6,000 baht, which is about a little under 200 US dollars. And her eyes kind of, what? Are you crazy? And I said, well, how much can you get me? And she said, 510 baht worth. So I don't really think these places are so much in the business of hooking you up with yen and that type of thing. I think they're more in the business of accepting that yen, and then off it goes to a bank somewhere. And off the top of my head, it said they had branches at Piatai, National Stadium, Siam, Asok, here Prampong, on Nut, and Saladang. At least that's what the poster said for super rich turtles. So I'm gonna have my dinner. I appreciate you. I am gonna walk back to that one other place and see if they'll accept my Florida driver's license or a picture of my passport. So we'll do that, and then we'll wrap up the video. Boone always makes fun of me. I'm typical Farang expat with my pad thai chicken, but I love it. I didn't even look. I'll look what it cost on the menu. I'm gonna say 120 baht. I know I can probably get these chicken wings are really good too for 110 baht. I know you can get 60 baht pad thai around town, but oftentimes I like things on a plate. And the menu's pretty thick. I can't even find it in there, but it's not much. It's pretty tasty food. It's just a kind of a fancy street food restaurant. Now let's walk back up here, and I'm gonna risk taking the crosswalk here at the top of Soi 26. Normally I just go up and over the train station, but this one does have a don't walk sign. Even then, keep an eye on those motorbikes. They'll come zipping out of nowhere. There's the marquee, beautiful building. Minutes from Prampong BTS. And I made it across, but yeah, still kind of zigzagging through bikes. Green light. And there go the bikes on the red light. It's just part of doing business around town, not that big a deal. Well, in her defense, the lady at Super Rich, she did say, let me call to the other locations and see who has a larger amount of Viet Dong, but I said no big deal. And back at Pro Exchange, she said I can use that Florida driver's license. However, she has 0 Viet Dong, so it's a little hit or miss. It's kind of like maybe going to immigration around town. You're gonna get different answers from one agent or one exchange booth to the next. So there you go, I'm almost home. Thank you so much. And I will be back making videos very soon. We'll see ya.